I'm Evan Thomason with This Week in Santa Clarita, and again we're joined with Paul Brotzman for our continuing focus on the One Valley, One Vision joint general plan between the City of Santa Clarita and the County of Los Angeles. Paul, we've talked a lot about what One Valley, One Vision is. Today we're going to talk about what One Valley, One Vision is not, and we're going to hopefully clear up some of the misconceptions and some of the myths out there. Why don't we jump right in, and the first misconception that I'd like you to address is that One Valley, One Vision enables higher density in the outlying areas of the city.
Actually, the One Valley, One Vision plan will probably reduce the development potential within the Santa Clarita Valley. We have very specifically looked at the outlying areas, and in an effort to reduce urban sprawl, we've reduced the land use development potential of many of the outlying areas. We estimate that when comparing the development potential that currently exists under the City and County General Plan in Santa Clarita Valley, One Valley, One Vision will probably reduce it overall by 5 to 10%.
Now, let's talk about there's a lot of misconceptions about what One Valley, One Vision is going to do within the city limits. So can you kind of set the record straight on that one?
Certainly. There are areas where One Valley, One Vision will allow for greater development potential within the city, and there are areas where One Valley, One Vision reduces it, or in fact protects existing neighborhoods and requires that they maintain the existing level of development exactly as they've been built out.
Sometimes we hear, and this has been a very lengthy process, One Valley, One Vision, and it's going back several years, and I know there's been several public outreach efforts that have been continuous, ongoing, and have been ramped up at various stages. Can you talk about what that public process is?
Sure. There have been, over the years, a significant number, probably in the hundreds of meetings that have occurred as we've developed One Valley, One Vision. Some of them open public community meetings, some of them stakeholder meetings, but there's been a great many of those meetings. And we're continuing with that process. It will probably be another year before One Valley, One Vision is finally adopted both by the city and the county. And there will be neighborhood meetings that will continue to be held, planning commission meetings, and city council meetings that will take place over this next year.
One of the other things that's said about One Valley, One Vision is that somehow it makes it easier for developers to push their projects through. Is that a fact?
No, the development process will remain very much as it is today. Major projects will be required to go through the same environmental process, the same development standard review process, the same architectural review process, the same planning commission review, and where necessary, actually also city council review and approval. So the processes that exist today will remain in place for the future.
And important to note that these are public processes as well.
They are definitely public processes. We have broad noticing requirements. We try and post things on the city's website regularly. Those processes which are designed to engage the community and let them know what is transpiring will definitely continue.
Sure, and certainly contacting City Hall or sending emails is a good way, and you can find out how to do that on the city's website. The other part that we want to talk about is mixed-use overlay and how that is incorporated through One Valley, One Vision, and what that is and what that means and what it does not mean.
Mixed-use overlay is really a development where you're mixing various use types. You're mixing residential, commercial, and office to create a more integrated neighborhood. The reason for doing that, severalfold, one of which is the reduction of the trip generation that may occur with a development. So you're minimizing or reducing traffic impact.
And this kind of goes back to the concept of Valley of Villages.
That is correct. It also reflects lifestyles. There are some people who prefer to live in mixed-use developments where they can live, work, walk to retail, and so it makes that opportunity available. Others prefer to live in more traditional subdivisions and standard suburban neighborhoods. That will continue as well. So it allows for the opportunity to accommodate different lifestyles within the community.
Now, I know there's a couple of projects that are upcoming. One would be the Smizer property. One would be there's another project in Clarita Canyon. How does One Valley, One Vision affect those?
Well, what we're doing right now is we're reaching out to the neighborhoods surrounding those projects. We've recently had a meeting with the Cal Grove corridor residents, and we have some continuing upcoming meetings with them to discuss those sites and to discuss ways in which we can incorporate within One Valley, One Vision standards that address concerns that they may have regarding the development on that site. We'll be doing the same thing with Clarita Canyon, and in fact we'll do the same thing with other residential areas or other development areas. If residents have identified a concern or a problem, we're happy to go out and set up meetings and work with the community to incorporate their issues and concerns into the planning process.
Okay, perfect. Well, Paul, I want to thank you for joining us once again. You can find out all about One Valley, One Vision on the city's website at santa-clarita.com/One Valley, One Vision. The first two videos in our continuing series are already posted there. For This Week in Santa Clarita, I'm Evan Thomason.